What is going on? This is Shango Ray, aka Real Deal Ray, your intuition's mouthpiece when the monkey mind wants to take over. And this is Shangodiac for Gemini. All the Gemsters out there, okay? So before we get started, definitely want to thank everybody, for their patience, especially, my clients and stuff. Had to take care of some personal business. But like your herpes, I am back, okay? So that was a joke, okay? Case of the claps, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like a boomerang, we're back. And before we get started here, like, share, subscribe, and thrive. Like, share, subscribe, and thrive. And if I forgot to mention, like, share, subscribe, and thrive. Boof! In that order, the order of operations, okay? So before we get into this, well, I won't say wonderful, but it's looking actually pretty good. I can tell a lot of you Geminis have went through or are going through or are about to on the precipice of going through a little bit of a bumpy patch, but that's all right. Um, don't forget cuffing season is now upon us, okay? Especially with Scorpios going on. Because Scorpios, if they're into you, they will like stick that stinger in you and you're hooked. You know what I'm saying? So cuffing season is upon us. So take advantage of our wonderful 3-day binding spell still available. To be honest, we got some other things we're going to be rolling out here. So yes, if you've been excited, been wanting a chance to work together one-on-one in a coaching style fashion, guess what? Yes, that's coming too very, very soon. So we have some wonderful things coming, shifting, pivoting directions. So meaning that the 3-day binding spell is more than 3-day binding spell is not going to be around that much longer. But like I said, this is cuffing season, and I know that some of y'all want to take advantage of that. So if you want to get a 3-day binding spell as far as a keep your ass here spell, if you're already in a relationship, or if you're trying to, quantumly entangle and draw that particular person to you, check it out. All right, without further ado, let's get into this. Start here in the middle. Okay, start here in the middle. This is the 10 of hearts. As you can see, they are reversed. All the fishies are upside down. Okay, so what that's telling me basically, first of all, I can see that a lot of, and like I said, this may hit differently depending on where you're at. This could be, somewhat what's also going on. But for some of you, you're moving into a space where this seems to be a probable outcome of you experiencing something like this, perhaps. Okay. So, but remember, your future is always in your hands. You write the pages on the story of your life. You know what I'm saying? But this right here, it almost feels depressive. Obviously, it's a lot of water here, emotion going on. Okay. So, this is telling me that if you're not experiencing this right now, you may be experiencing an emotional dip. Okay. Now, I can see here also that um, a lot of you Geminis were actually coming from an emotionally balanced place. In other words, you weren't too depressed, you were this or that, and you may have even worked some things out with somebody, possibly even forgave them, and maybe yourself for whatever involvement was in whatever the situation was. Okay. I do see that there was some problems here for some of you Geminis. Okay. Whether this was, I do feel definitely that there was a problem at the job for some of you uh, in regards with a woman. I feel like honestly, a woman manager, a woman boss, a woman, somebody, some woman who maybe had um, some more authority at your particular job or whatever than you did. I feel like there was some of you Geminis were having some problems with that. Okay, they could have been a Leo also. This could also be talking about a Leo. Okay, also there's also We're talking about just a troublemaking woman as well. And I can't help but feel that some of you Geminis were coming out of like a clusterfuck in some ways. So you had her, but yet you also had this going on too. Okay. Jack of Spades, this is also showing some other type of beef, another trouble. And this person could have been young, could be a fire sign, maybe not. But this person was causing strife for you. This person was, and yes, this could have been possibly an Aries or a fire sign in their lower nature. Okay. They may have been older than you, but they acted, immature and younger also. So I do see that there was some trouble. Possibly, though, there was a solution, though, or things appeared to be, mended, or at least certain things were straightened out, at least. You know what I'm saying? But if this is not going on with you right now, I could definitely see that you might be moving into a space then where this could be applying to you. Okay. You have this Three of Diamonds here. Okay. Number one, Three of Diamonds in reverse always talks about worrying about money, financial worries. Okay. It's also um, showing like losing money incrementally, or losing finances, or maybe even being afraid that you're leaking. You know what I'm saying? You're leaking. And this is also contributing here to the middle card, this 10 of Hearts. This right here, like I said, it does feel kind of depressive. I know some of you may even be depressed. This is just coming through too because this is the anniversary of somebody passing. And usually around this time of year, things maybe kind of get funky. I would like to interject or suggest just another perspective on things, because I do feel, I don't know who this is for, why it's for, or what. Okay, but I do feel like this time period is also the kind of like the anniversary of somebody's death, somebody that it still fucks with you, somebody that meant a lot to you. Okay, now when these emotions start going downhill, if we're not careful, the reason why it's important to watch your emotions, or to at least be checking in with yourself to know what emotions are even going on right now, because a lot of times we don't even know. We feel shit, and then but it's too busy up here. But it does start to affect your overall frequency. Okay. And the thing about it is, when you're in a situation like this, and like I said, this also feels very, very dense, very heavy, very low. Okay. um, if you persist in that, believe me, and I'm sure you probably know this, it doesn't take long for things around you to start to reflect back to you that which you are, because you're the projector. Your reality is just a mirror. You know what I'm saying? And just like it wouldn't make sense to go into the bathroom and try and fix the mirror based because you don't like what you see, versus you, the projector, who is projecting that image onto the mirror. So it's pretty similar. Okay. It's very similar. It's the same thing. All right. Just a different format of reflection. This one's 3D, and you can see, smell, hear, and touch it, versus just the mirror. Okay. But this feels very heavy, very dense. Okay. And yes, also even worry. And if it's not depressive, it's also depression. To me, a lot of times, is if you're depressed, a lot of that is also, it can be a mixture of things. Okay. It can be anxiety thrown in there. You sprinkle anxiety in there, but also, guilt about what coulda, shoulda, woulda, what happened, you know, things of that nature. And that shit's real. Like I said, some of you Geminis are all too used to that. So it's hard to get yourself out of this momentum because you have so much experience. And with this particular heavy emotion, I feel like I said, for, I don't know if it's for one person, I don't know if it's who it's for, but I do feel this time of year gets really tough a lot of times. And if you will take the time to kind of look at your own life and kind of connect the dots and see like, yo, every time I start getting into this funk, I notice that shortly after things start to reflect that, shit in, shit out, and some of you Geminis just haven't. The reason why is because whatever it is that is in your psyche that continues to reemerge, and then it'll submerge, and then it'll reemerge, and then it'll submerge, is because you've never actually really dealt with it. Part of dealing with it, number one, is admitting it's there, admitting exactly what you feel, just to yourself, not to anybody else. You can lie and put on a smile to everybody else. That's really irrelevant. What's most important is what you do with yourself when you're by yourself and when you have to face this ghost. Okay. Now there, some of you, some of you Geminis may find yourself involved in a three-way situation, love triangle. And I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like for some of you, it's some of you are the ones also involved, and you didn't think your partner may be, but I'm really feeling strongly like for some of you Geminis that this is talking about who you're with is in it, and therefore you're in it. You just didn't know you were in it, but uh, you'll be finding out if this is you. Okay, and once again, this can add to what's already going on with that, you know. So be sure. I feel one of the most things, if it's not already kind of began, is you're going to have to make your own clarity a priority. So, whatever you have to do to enhance, to cultivate your clarity, it behooves you to do that. Okay. You can keep yourself busy. And I know a lot of you Geminis like to keep yourself busy, and, you guys do a lot of different things, but this could be an actual opportunity, though, to actually also face whatever it is that you maybe have been running from, turning your back from, or even trying to fight or resist. This is not the time to fight or resist. Okay, this is the time to face, and by facing, if you face it, you'll displace it. Okay, so let's look and see what else we got here. Well, for those who actually successfully do that, I'm gonna tell you right now too. Somebody needs to hear this shit. You think you have so much work to do on yourself, and I'm not saying that because everybody, we're all, like I said, I just told this to a client a few days ago, that when in this human body, we're like onions. Basically, we're just straight like onions. Onions are like the only I don't even know what the fuck they call those. If it's technically a fruit, or if it's technically a vegetable, I don't know that, but it's the only thing like it is that's all composed of layers. There's nothing else. It's just layer after layer after layer after layer, and then nothing. Okay, but before I get into this, I will tell you the rest of this. More than half the battle, and I don't even want to call it a battle, but more than half of the work is actually just to acknowledge. You'd be surprised how hard it is. I'm sure how hard it is for most anybody you lay your eyes on, for them to acknowledge certain things. And it's that blunt, naked honesty, that butt naked, covered in baby oil honesty, that wins the game. You know what I'm saying? And it's the hardest part, but it's also the most liberating, when you can just finally admit what the fuck it really is for you, you know? So, having said that, change of status coming up though. Okay? Change of status also coming up though. I'm thinking this is more weeks and weeks and weeks though. So, for some of you, it could be a bump in income. Money wise, it looks like this is an excellent card to have in regards to your money. Okay? Financial power. I think you guys, some of you Geminis, will be maybe even taking part in multiple jobs. right now, because especially when the holidays start to come in, and we're on the verge of the holidays coming in. A lot of times, a lot of jobs pop up, so a lot of people can choose to multitask. I guess you could say. I do see you guys being somewhat busy. This is also a creative time, though, for a lot of you Geminis, because a lot of you Geminis are mad creative. So this is the time to get. This is the artist card, also. Okay, so this is also a time, not just because it feels good, but it's fucking therapeutic. Whatever your art is, if you haven't done your art in a long time, you need to get your ass to do your art. You know what I'm saying? Or find something that has nothing to do with your main thing. And this is advice I've had to give to myself. You know what I'm saying? It's not at all. It's not as easy, always to do that. But what this culminates in, though. But back to what I was saying, though. You needs that, man. You need it. You need some type of creative hobby that's just, it's like a good orgasm for your soul. You know what I'm saying? It's a good bust. It's a good nut busting thing for your soul. You know what I'm saying? You need it. And like I said in the title, I do see, and I feel like for a lot of you Geminis, this is going to come out of left field. In other words, you're not going to anticipate necessarily how this comes about. Okay. But there are some of you Geminis out there. You've had a desire in your heart to experience this thing, this something. And let me tell you, the contract is fulfilled. Here's your check. Don't spend it all in one place. Yep. This is the card of fulfillment. Okay? Emotional fulfillment, like a heart's desire, like finally, you know what I'm saying? But something that your heart has been desiring for a long time. Okay? So that's good news for a lot of you Geminis, so, or whoever this applies to. Obviously, it's not going to apply to every single one. Some of you are going to be doing the same shit the next Shangodiac around. So, it is what it is. But this is Shango Ray. Let me get up out. I think I might have one more in me for tonight, or this morning, actually. I ain't slept. But who's next? I believe Scorpio's going to be next. But don't worry. We're going to get out the rest of the Shangodiacs. Within the next 2 days. So that way, if you missed yours, Aries, obviously Sag and the whole crew, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to get all that out for you. But going to hit you with the Playboy Bunny, as my partner says, you know what I'm saying? So we'll be back with the next one. All right.